Yo, what the hell's up? Welcome back to Reviews with Jake, where I just got back from seeing The Invisible Man. This film is a rather loose adaptation of the classic story by H.G. Wells, in which we have a woman dating a man named Adrian Griffin, who is a master at optics technology. He's also a bit of a sociopath, so his girlfriend ends up leaving him, and then he fakes his own death and starts torturing her as an invisible presence. This movie was directed by Leigh Whannel, who has made quite a killing for himself as a horror screenwriter. He's probably the main reason why this particular film ended up being on my list this weekend. I trust this guy's writing chops, and I assumed he would work his magic once again to make this story that I probably otherwise wouldn't be interested in, make it something a little bit more appealing. Because the concept of invisibility, while it's very interesting use in fiction in general, I never really got on board with any use of it in film. I don't know, it just always seems very hokey to me. Probably the only usage of it that I've actually really appreciated was Translucent in The Boys, in which he's basically a big old pervert that runs around naked, and he creeps on people, especially girls. I imagine that's how an invisible person would probably be in reality. But unlike the original story, which I've never read but I'm familiar with, this is much more of a psychological stalker thriller, and that's just a take that's infinitely more appealing to me. So the pros for this film, as you'd imagine, it's kind of a requirement. It was great sound design. I mean, unless you're in like a 4DX theater, you really only have two senses that you can call upon in order to make a presence for someone on film: the visuals or the sound. And if your primary antagonist for the film cannot be seen throughout most of the film, you have to heighten that other sense, otherwise, what is he? So they did a good job offsetting that, and I really appreciate sound design, so that was a big thumbs up for me. On the note of things you hear, I also appreciated at least half of the music. It had a lot of keys and synthesizers that it felt very Silent Hill-y. It played really well with that psychological aspect. Another pro was Elisabeth Moss's performance, which was very good. She did a good job seeming like this paranoid girl that is just haunted by this presence that no one believes her about. This movie's success was hinging upon a good performance, and she capitalized. I also appreciate a lot of the direction and cinematography. They made a lot of choices that I thought played well with the theme of invisible person. They used a lot of negative space in the frame in order to kind of, make the viewer kind of believe that there might be someone over there, but who really knows? And I thought that was an interesting choice, and I thought it played well. However, the cons were that this movie was just littered with plot holes. They would kind of give you a shocking revelation, but then you would kind of look two steps back and be like, well, if that's that, then what about this? Like, it happened a lot in this film, and it would be really easy to pick apart. Another con was the other half of the music. It was a very bipolar film in that regard. It would be like really calming, soothing stuff. I'm really enjoying it. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something would happen, and it would just be like, boom, boom. Like a terrible dubstep concert. Like music that you'd hear in a trailer, but they used in the actual film, and it was just like, Jesus. Just super obnoxious when they really ramped it up. Similarly was the acting. Outside of Elisabeth Moss, I really didn't think that much of the other actors were very good. Although that probably could have been attributed to just some really bad dialogue. I mean, there's some really awkward exchanges in this film. Specifically referring to a few really strange exchanges with like Lyft drivers and waiters in restaurants. Like, they would have like 1, 2, maybe 3 too many lines of dialogue that make you just be like, why is this person getting so much screen time? Like, did they win a contest, or are they a friend of the director? Like, it kind of like sets up like this is going to be like an actual character or a plot point, but it doesn't, so you're just like, I feel like you could have chopped that out. I also would have personally preferred a little bit more of a well-rounded and realized villain, along with maybe playing into the whole aspect of invisibility for the viewer's sake a little bit more than they did. I mean, they did a little bit, but I just felt like it was really underutilized. I would have preferred to see that, but what they have here is fine. It's a fine thriller, it's well made, it has its problems, but all in all, it's perfectly serviceable. I'm going to give The Invisible Man a B. It was advertised to be a psychological thriller, it was just kind of more of just a thriller. What they did was fine, it works, but if you would have went this way, it could have been cooler for me personally. And that's fine, to each their own. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe to this channel and stay up to date on new reviews coming real soon. Thanks for checking in.